Hey, Vsauce, Michael here. This is the story of Act 1. My Act 1. I have no idea. Okay, bye.
Bob, you better make that the very start of it, okay?
No, you gotta make it the start.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Human, and this is my Act 1 memory. Been a member of Act 1 for
About that many.
a long time. Can't think of numbers. My favorite Act 1 memory is when Christina Alexanderson put pickle juice and garlic salt on cake and didn't tell me, and I ate it on stage during a show. And I almost threw up on stage. Your time is coming, Christina. I will get my revenge.
Hi guys, my favorite memory, I know that Kimberly has already talked about it, is definitely the cake story, and I'm so glad that it has been passed down and younger generations have heard about it. But she has threatened me, and now I am constantly on my guard that she's going to get back at me. But that pound cake with pickle juice and garlic salt will forever be the best prank of Tech Week. No, it was during a show, not Tech Week. But yeah, that's one of my favorite Act 1 memories, and also being in Fiddler on the Roof, which was the first musical that Act 1 ever did when I was 11. It was just a really cool experience and really introduced me to musical theater and helped me find my love for it. So thanks guys for having me.
And that actually happened.
Wait, was it really good?
It was during Anna Green Gables.
I went to go see that because Samantha always talks about that.
Okay, so yeah, so we're on, so it was the part where Anne makes Ipecac cake instead of vanilla cake. It's supposed to taste terrible, and the whole time we've been practicing with just regular cake. Final show, she soaks like half the cake in pickle juice and then covers it in garlic salt.
Oh, God.
And it was a strawberry cake. So strawberry, pickle, and garlic.
That's funny.
It was awful. Christina wasn't even in the show. Well, she may have been. No, Christina wasn't even in the show.
This can be open now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Christina wasn't even in the
talks
show.
about that. She like
Yes.
ate part of it.
Yes. It was quite awful. One day I'll get my revenge. I don't know when yet.
Kimberly. Wow. Did you say, Kimberly, you say you talked about the cake?
I did.
Oh, is the line back there?
One day. I don't know what I'll do. One day I'll get you back. I don't know how, but I'm gonna do it.
What happened?
I know.
So, during Anna Green Gables, I was a stage manager.
That's what you were. I was like, she wasn't even in it. How was she there?
Stage manager. Kimberly was playing Marilla, and then Carol Ann was playing Anne. And so there's a scene where Carol Ann makes a cake, and then they all eat it on stage, and she's supposed to act like it was nasty because she like got one of the ingredients wrong. Well, every night my mom had made the cake, so it was like really good.
Awesome cake.
Yeah, it was like really good cake. So I told our stage manager, I was like, guys, we gotta like make the cake disgusting for the live show. So during intermission, I took the cake and I poured pickle juice all over it, and it was pound cake, so it like absorbed it, and garlic salt all over it.
Was awful.
So usually Kim would like take a bite and she'd go, "And what did you put in this cake?" Well, that night she went, and she just froze and just stood there and like didn't know whether to like swallow it or like. And so she didn't say her line for the longest time, and Carol Ann was like, "What's wrong, Marilla?" And she just went, she literally went and looked in the wings and was just trying. So Carol Ann's like, "What is the big deal?" So Carol Ann takes a big bite and literally shivers from head to toe. So they're all like, they don't want to sit down on stage.
And then there's not really a spot.
And then there's one more girl, and so she's like,
Do you need me back here?
she takes her bite and literally went, like pushed away from the table. It was
Oh, it's IKEA.
Is that the cake that has like the pickle juice in it?
yeah, pickle juice and garlic. Yeah.
I'm the one that ate it. And like, I was going through the motions of the show because it was a live show, and I was just like, I remember there's a picture, we have it. I'm like, I'm trying not.
I am in the wings, on the floor, crying, laughing.
Bob was in the
so hard.
audience, and of course you know Bob, you can always hear him laughing.
Yeah, you can.
So he was rolling.
Because he knew right, because I told him and Christy what I did. So like they're in the audience and he starts laughing right away, and so everybody else in the audience is like, it's not that funny, but it's like he knows what's happening, and she just could not
I couldn't get it down. I couldn't get it down.
I'm so surprised you guys didn't just spit it out.
Well, I was like, wait, what did you end up doing? I swallowed it and kept going.
This is great. Hi, I'm Ethan Sonnenschein. I've been with Act 1 for about a year now, but I've known Christy for longer. That's how I really first knew about Act 1. My favorite memory is during You'll Be in My Heart, backstage in Tarzan. I was in a circle with a few of my cast members, and we were just, it was the last show, and we were just like hugging and in tears.
I'm not going yet, but I love you.
Captain Jessica was fucking me. Hello, my name is Tyler Rollins. I've been in Act 1 since 6 years. Starting now, 6 years. And my favorite show memory. My favorite show memory. There's a lot of favorite memories from Act 1, but
It's one of them with me in it.
no.
Should you have thought of these before you made it?
There's so many. I think the most memorable that people know me from is 8 plays around the world, when I did a cartwheel off the box when I was a snake, and it killed the audience, literally killed the audience. But my favorite show that we did is probably The Count of Monte Cristo, the meaning of it. Yep.
Yep.
Okay, I've been with Act 1 for three years? I think 3 years now. My favorite memory would be, do I look good? My favorite memory would be the Tarzan cast party and just Tarzan in general. Because like I had been with Act 1 for like a year or so at that point, but that show was where I really got to know all the people in Act 1 and actually became friends with them. So it's a really memorable show.
That was my first
And it was a lot of fun. And the cast party was great because we went rock climbing. Yeah, that's my favorite memory with Act 1.
And Mo was amazing climbing. Go Bailey.
Whoa, that is bright. Okay, so Tyler wanted me to go.
Oh, that's why.
Tyler.
Someone knocked it over.
Tyler, you broke it. Pick it
I
up.
fixed
What
it.
did Tyler do? Breaking things.
It's even worse.
Tyler,
Oh my-
Tyler, just leave it. Tyler, stop. Leave it alone.
Stop.
Sweetie,
Stop.
Sweetie, no.
Tyler, no. Tyler's fine. It's fine. Just set it there, yeah. Okay. If you're wondering where the red cupboard is, it's right there in front of the building. Okay, yeah. I've been with Act 1 for one show before then, before Singing the Rain. So I was supposed to, but Tyler wanted me to do one, so I guess we are. My favorite memory is probably meeting, probably the first day of Lion King, where I met everyone. Because this is like my family, even though I've only been here for like one show. Hello, Ethan. How are you?
It's okay.
I'm like the youngling, but yeah. Savannah, I love you.
I love you.
Yeah. My favorite memory is meeting Savannah. That's it.
I'm
Sorry.
special.
No, I'm kidding. My favorite memory is meeting her. But yeah.
Go there.
Don't let him out.
This lemonade is really good. And in the words of Tyler,
Trust me,
I really like this lemonade.
Okay, so I'm going to sit here while nobody else is in the room and do my part. So, Stephen Gendron, and I would say my most memorable, is that what we're supposed to be doing here? Most memorable thing with Act 1 probably would be, if I'm thinking about it correctly, the only one I've ever done, which is playing Ball Crusher. That's right.
crooked and it's bothering me. It's really bothering me. But I don't want somebody doing it wrong. That's better. I don't know how to do this.
Is it recording?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, I remember in 8th place when I think I was like 13 or 14, so it was 14. So it was 2 years ago. And me and Grace Weeks had to have a transformation like on stage from old women into young women. And we did like jerky movements with our arms and stuff, and she punched me in the face very hard on stage during the show. And I've never laughed harder. So, yes. It was, I have a lot of great memories though from Act 1 and everything. And just having such a wonderful family and having so many people that I love and care about is just pretty awesome. Happy Sweet 16. Okay, goodbye.
Did you cry?
No, God, I'm about to. This is all really like. I have another one.
I'm like right here.
I'm back.
Is it always recording?
Yeah.
Hey guys, it's me. I'm back.
Hey, what's up, you guys?
Oh my God, milkshake glasses.
I remember we were doing Shakespeare for Summer Explosion a couple years ago, and all of us just in general were kind of having trouble like with the Old English, and now it helps all of us with our lines and we learn them faster because they're not Old English. And I remember me and Tyler played opposites in that show, and he was I was like having like a monologue about like that I loved him and everything, and he said he was supposed to have this huge monologue back, but instead he just looked at me and was like, yes, with the most serious like expression I have ever seen in my entire life. And I just kind of sat there and I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what my next line is. Like, and I was like, dost thou love me? Like, and he just went, yes. Interesting, but yes, yeah. I feel like there's like one like on the tip of my tongue and I don't know what it is.
One where I came in last minute. Like the day before the show.
It's not Summer Explosion.
I like Princess Owl.
When, I remember, sorry, I just like got resurrected. My first ever Act 1 show, I was 13, and it was The Frog Prince, and that is where I met Reese McCavey and all of the friends that I have now, and my wonderful family, and I would not trade it for the world. But I remember one day during rehearsal, part of it was like we were on the floor and we were frogs, and me, Tyler, and Kevin were on the floor, but Reese and somebody else was on the stage, like they were on the stage, but they had to jump down to like join us on the floor. And I remember just looking up as he jumped and thinking that I was like, this is when I die. Like, this is when and how I die right now. Because I thought I was gonna be like killed, but I wasn't, so it's not good. I love you.
Melody, you got lipstick on your face now.
Oh
I'm trying to think of a good monologue. Or not a monologue, but a good memory.
I'm sure I have
I have
a
good
better
ones,
one.
but
I have
don't
so
remember
many,
ones, yeah.
but like I just, why can I not think of them right now? Tarzan. Just Tarzan. All of it. That's my memory. Tarzan. Literally the greatest show I've ever been a part of, the greatest show I ever will be a part of. I love everyone in that cast more than I love the entire world.
You look different. It's a good look. What's
Happy
up?
Sweet 16 Act 1. Yeah, that's me.
No, wait, Frog Prince was your first show?
Yeah, it was
With Act 1.
Okay, so I'm gonna sit down here. I'm gonna record myself. Okay, so I first met Bob with the Pump House about 3 years ago. I did a few shows with him, and I had known that he was running Act 1, and I always wanted to get involved, and finally got my opportunity with Clue, the musical, which was my first performance with Act 1. Thank you, thank you.
I don't have a memory. Think of one. I don't want to. I don't have one. Are you gonna do an act? Yes. No, it's eyeliner. Are you gonna do it? I told you I don't have. I haven't been with them long enough to have a memory.
Sit up straight.
Hi, I'm Elise Tyndall, and I'm the youngest member of Act 1 in 2018, and I'm super blessed to be here.
Okay, what's your favorite memory of Act 1 so far?
My favorite memory is in Annie. I had somebody did my makeup, and she became my best friend.
Who's that?
Emma.
Hello, Dwayne Ellis here. Only thing I've done so far with Act 1 is Cool and Musical, and I appreciate Bob giving me the opportunity to do that. And I just want to say happy 16th birthday, and I wish y'all all the best. Bye-bye.
Hey, what's up? My name is Chloe Bacon. I've been in Act 1.
I love you, Chloe Bacon.
I love you, Chloe Bacon.
Everybody loves Chloe Bacon.
I guess they do. My name is Chloe Bacon. I have been in Act 1 for maybe about
About that many years.
no, like 2 to 3 years, really. I love you.
About that
I love
many
you. I'm trying to record.
Too bad, I love you.
I'm trying to make you
I'm your best memory.
Ethan, go away. Savannah is my best memory.
Yes.
I've been in Act 1 for about 2 years, maybe. I don't know. I've only done 3 shows with Act 1. I love Act 1. I think they're so sweet. I'm so glad to be a part of this program and this family. I think my best memory with Act 1 was probably during Still Live with Iris, and I was backstage, and I was with Luke Evans. It was one of my first theater shows, by the way. And I was really nervous, and he cheered me up by talking about superheroes, and I thought it was really dumb, but I joined in, and it was a really good moment. It just made me feel all warm and toasty. Anyways, I'll stop talking. I love you, Bob, if you're editing this. Mwah.
I like toast.
Okay, what do I do?
You just say like how long I've been in it, or like a memory, or anything.
Okay.
You are.
No, it's just, hey, what's up, guys? Scares here.
Hi, what's up, guys?
Okay.
You can say who you are if you want.
Recording, so it's.
Yeah, go ahead. Yes. It's okay. It's gonna be edited. It's fine.
I'm trying to think, what was
Hi, I'm Sarah Wieditz, and
You're watching Disney Channel.
I started with Act 1 when I was 12 and I was in 7th grade. I did Peter Pan.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, I was twin number 2. It was great. And
I was twin number 2 in Still Life with Iris.
close enough. And my favorite memory, I don't know. I think one of my favorite memories would probably be when we had to fight Bob with a giant stick. It was really fun. And my favorite show that I've been in with Act 1 is probably this one right now, Singing in the Rain. Yeah.
I'm in that show too!
Aren't we all? You're great. Thank you. I'm back. Okay, I actually thought of. Goes back if you want to. No. No.
She's nervous because she doesn't want to say her favorite memory in front of her mom.
My mom.
This is gonna be posted all around the world.
Anyways,
Whatever you say.
I'm Delaney Smith, and my favorite.
Don't move the camera.
My name is Delaney Smith, and I started with Act 1 when I was 13, and my first show was The Frog Prince, and I remember that was where I met all of my friends and people that I consider my family, and I would not have traded the decision to join Act 1 for the entire world. But I remember when I met my good friend Reese,
and everyone else in that show, we actually had a fun run, and it was my first fun run ever. I had never done one before, and I remember we spent part of the fun run taping spoons to Reese. And we called him Spoon Hawk. So.
Spoon Hawk?
Yes. During character questions.
Talking about your spoon hawk.
During character questions, and so I'm really, I love everybody, and I wouldn't trade my experiences for you. And my favorite show is probably, Tarzan. Tarzan was.
Tarzan for life.
It was a.
Don't ruin the moment.
Thank you.
Okay. I want to know.
Oh, my eyes.
So yeah, it's a bright light.
Are you sure? I don't want to bug you.
Hello, my name is Kevin Barnhart. My first show with Act 1 was when I was 4 years old, and I did Miracle on 34th Street. I was Tommy Mara Jr., and my brother Kyle was Tommy Mara Sr., so my brother was my dad. I remember that very vividly. Probably my favorite Act 1 memory was from Tarzan, just the whole show in general. Man, that was my favorite so far. Yeah.
Why are you looking at me?
Because that's where the lens is, Chloe.
I want to go, but you can go ahead.
Yeah, you're just short. Back again. One of my one of my favorite memories from Act 1 is probably the fun run for Midsummer Night's Dream when
Wasn't there a T-Rex?
Carol Ann walked on stage in the inflatable T-Rex costume. Yeah, that happened. All right, Reese, go ahead.
Okay, so my memory is like a mix of everything. I first started doing shows when I was maybe like 4 years ago, so it's been a while. And in Tarzan, I played Kerchak. That was the first time that I was able to, really grow and play like a multi-dimensional and multi-level character. And it was so much fun. I learned so much from Bob and Christina and Christy. I didn't dance in that show, but I learned how to, and I mean, just everything in that show was the greatest experience to me. Now, one negative thing, no tea, no shade, but I vividly remember, I think it was our second show, Clay Duke, who played Tarzan, jumped from the stage just about 4 feet, fell, and then sprained his ankle. So that was fun, mid-show, in the middle of it, like right before the second act. And then backstage, he would not let anybody fix it. It was a good time, it was fun. We got through all the show, it was fine, but it was real intense. And then the gun broke, yeah.
Or there's a time like gun hit me in the shoulder during Treasure Island.
Hey, Vsauce.
Already did this.
So, the story, when I first started Act 1, I started with the frog.
No, it was the bugs in the bog.
That wasn't Act 1.
Never mind.
Gosh, Bailey.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. My first Act 1 play was The Frogmans, which a lot of mixed emotions tied into it. Again, one of my favorite memories from that show was probably the fun run and the birth of Heinrich. But yeah, I remember Reese getting taped all over with spoons being called the Spoon Hawk. That was hilarious. But my personal favorite memory with that or my most vivid memory was during Around the World Secretly 7. Nobody knows. And Tyler, in our little scene, he's supposed to have like a little treasure trove, and I remember without our director telling us anything, he grabs his treasure. It turns out to be just a little, like, what was it, a dinosaur?
It was I can't think of it. It starts with a P.
P?
P?
It's pterodactyl.
Pterodactyl.
It starts with a P. Okay, guys, it does.
Pterodactyl. It's pterodactyl. And it was a little pterodactyl. And we tried our hardest to not laugh on stage.
And he proceeded to just roll with it and just, play with it. And we were doing everything in our power just to not giggle. And I still hate our director for that.
Wait, hold on, okay, so this is...
Go ahead.
Okay,
That's my story.
Sorry. So this is how Tyler portrays a pterodactyl. Okay, so he's like, what's it called?
Okay.
It starts with a P.
Hang on, let me
It starts with a
get out of here. Get out of here.
Jingle, pedal, whiz.
Okay, just to explain myself, there is a game called Pterodactyl. Hang on, good. Hey, try and make them show their teeth.
Oh, that was the best prank I ever pulled.
Anyway, was that you?
That was me.
I thought it was Liz the whole time.
It was a tag team member.
Pterodactyl?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, get off.
Okay, anyway, I'm
Don't
gonna say
touch my ass.
my first Act 1 show was at Peter Pan. And it's my second show that I've ever done. But I was a lost boy. It doesn't really matter. I'm just saying how long I've been in here. And it really helped me become a better actor. And that Christy Montgomery taught me a lot of stuff. It taught me how to act better and all that stuff. And if it wasn't for Bob, I wouldn't know how to do lights because I run lights at Cass High School.
Where are you pointing?
Bob just walked by. But anyway, I can run lights at Cass High School, and yeah, that's interesting. And it's a fun thing because people like actors is like, do you know how to turn on the lights? And I was like, yeah. Can you do it? And band kids in there just practicing bands. Can you turn on the lights? And I was like, yeah. And it's like, oh, and it's fun. It's interesting.
You really can't run a show without lights.
I know.
You gotta have the quality color like in this little shenanigan we're doing right
so
here.
bright.
Yeah.
It is very bright though.
It is very bright.
You can't run a show without the proper lighting.
One of my most favorite directors. She's a lifelong friend of mine. Yep.
She's all of our good friends.
I feel like I should probably do this.
Do it.
You should.
Do it.
Go there.
Do it.
Wow.
Wait. Yeah.
You're really short.
Can the camera see her face?
No, yeah, put it down so I can see it. I actually did bring it down so you
He
can see
actually
it.
did.
Hang on.
Okay. Don't move it anymore. No, it's good.
No, wait, no. Let me.
Yeah,
There,
go back.
it's good. If I sit here any longer, hurry up.
Stop.
Good.
Let go of it.
It's good.
After you.
It's recording everything.
Okay. Hi, I'm Elena Byrne. Do I have to say my last name?
Okay, cut.
What's it? When did I start Act 1?
Take
Whoa, that's a hard question.
I started Act 1 either one of the first or the first Summer Explosions. And I was like so small.
You're still
Yes.
She's still
You're
small.
still small.
I feel a lot of pressure.
Smaller.
She's
No, I was the youngest one there, and so everybody treated me good. But I didn't know anybody, so I was afraid to talk to anybody. So instead of talking, I made a noise like a pterodactyl because I was too shy to talk to
Oh, now
anybody.
you want to say pterodactyl.
Right? I just became pterodactyls.
Secretly, Act 1
My
is
favorite
the
memory. I don't have anything specific. Just mostly like being in. Shut up! I'm talking.
That's on camera.
Why did you kick me in the nuts?
Being in like
Somebody just kicked
the
you.
half circles. And just like being around everybody all the time. It was great. Not all the time. Okay, there's some times, but that was. But I did like during Peter Pan. Whenever Moritz tried to go through the tree of the Lost Boys hole, and he could barely fit through because he was so tall. So that was great. Or like whenever everybody had to go through the tree hole, and so it was like taking a while. So we were just like back. I think it was me. There was Caroline. And somebody else, and then we were just waiting for everybody to go through the hole, and so we were just, shut up, I hate you, Tyler. And so we were waiting, and so we just kind of started like ad-libbing weird stuff, and I was saying about like rats and what rats do. What rats do in like London, everything. I'm like, do they go to things like that? Because I had my little pet rat. But yeah, my favorite show was Peter Pan because I learned combat, and I got to. It was great.
And yeah, also Bob does that. He's a great combatter too.
Combatter.
Yeah, come better.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
Okay, we're gonna do this quick, guys.
Go Jordan.
Oh, that is really
Cut.
my name's Jordan. I've been doing shows with Act One since I was in like 6th grade, 5th grade, and my favorite show I've done is probably Tarzan, because that was a lot of fun. And I don't really. Oh no, now I'm being judged. Speaking of Tarzan, actually, that's gonna be one of my favorite memories. One day during Tarzan, it was during Son of Man. There were 3 platforms, the tallest one, the little, and then so you're supposed to go from the top one to the middle one, and you're supposed to just like kind of like go like wah, and then like I was like, ooh, I'm gonna be a daredevil, and so during the song, I jumped from the top platform to the very bottom, and almost literally twisted my ankle like Clay did. So that was fun.
Good job, Jordan.
Okay, I'm done now. Thank you.
Wait, let me.
I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing.
Just
say your name.
I'm Wendy Gendron. I would just like to say thank you to Christy and Bob and Mo.
You're beautiful.
Thank you to
Yeah, you guys You did grow taller than your hair.
shows for like 3 years. So thank you so much, and I'm so happy to be a part of this whole family. Love y'all.
I want to make sure if we can hear you.
I'm like, you did amazing. I have pictures of you guys.
Hi, Mary Grace here. I just wanted to say thank you for making my first show so spectacular. I loved being singing in the rain, and I am so excited and nervous and freaked out for the first show. So thank you. You made it really, really fun. Hi, I just want to say thank you so much for taking a chance on me with Treasure Island. I love you guys, and you're never getting rid of me, right?
Well, I hope you enjoy this by hearing all these good comments about you. I'm going to throw a bad comment in there. Ready? Bad comment. Boom. Now there's a bad comment in there.
No. It records the entire time.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Listen to hear our conversation right now.
I do. Hey Bob, if you're hearing this, you're a good fellow.
Have fun with all this editing.
Yeah.